pretty interesting signing, and also funny too because when I made a comment about when Matt Ryan was cut, I was like, "Ooh, that'd be a great backup for the Kansas City Chiefs." And everyone was like, "Oh man, Matt Ryan, no, we don't need him. We don't need a backup. We have Shane Michelle on the roster. He's the backup of the future."
Matty Ice? Ain't what Matty Ice?
Yeah, people didn't want Matt Ryan to be our backup. I'm like, that'd be a great backup. I was like, I don't think we're gonna get him as our backup, but that'd be an amazing backup.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think Matty would do that either. Nah, he wouldn't. No,
you don't think he would be a good backup?
I don't think he'd be a backup anywhere.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, yeah. That's why I was like, yeah, I don't
No,
see him
he
signing to
wouldn't.
be a backup anyway.
No,
But if that were the case, I love that. And so, but anyway, a lot of Chief fans jumped down our Chiefs Concerns Twitter account when I said it would be a perfect backup for Mahomes, and everyone's like, no, we don't need him. We have Shane Michelle on the roster. He's the backup of the future. Look what he did in the preseason last year. Um, but anyway, so this past week we signed Blaine Gabbert, former Mizzou quarterback. Uh,
hey, okay,
Blaine Gabbert, yeah.
yeah.
A signing that I'm surprised a lot of people were surprised that we weren't going to go out and get a veteran quarterback. Look at Andy's history. Andy's always brought in a veteran quarterback to be the backup. Look at
Of course.
his first offseason with the Chiefs, Alex Smith, and then he ended up signing Chase Daniels as to be the backup quarterback right away. It was like, okay, one of the most, I think he was the highest paid backup quarterback that year. But let's look at his history. He's always done that.
Right.
Nick Foles with Alex Smith when in Kansas City. And then obviously Matt Moore, Chad Henne, veteran quarterbacks, always brought in veteran quarterbacks. Blaine
Yeah.
Gabbert. Ironic part about Blaine Gabbert, which I thought was funny, as soon as we signed him, I was like, oh man, he used to want to replace Chad Henne in Jacksonville. They drafted him in the first round, 2011. He ended up
Yeah.
replacing Chad Henne, Chad Henne in Jacksonville.
Right.
So teammates with Chad Henne, I'm probably Chad Henne definitely signed off on this signing, probably with Kansas City, and he probably talked to Blaine about it as well. So yeah, a little bit about Blaine Gabbert, obviously 2011 first round pick with Jacksonville. Like Gabbert, like Henne, he was Gabbert's a journeyman, just like Chad Henne, played for the Jags, Niners, Cardinals, Titans, and most recently is a Super Bowl winner as being Tom Brady's backup quarterback 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, or 3 years ago in the Super Bowl. So JD, are you happy with this Blaine Gabbert veteran backup acquisition or signing? Or were you under the impression that Shane Buechele should have been the backup for Patrick Mahomes?
No, I'm happy with the signing. Blaine Gabbert, yeah. You look, listen. You need a seasoned vet. Okay, you need a seasoned vet. Nothing against Shane Buechele. All right, he showed some flashes, but with a guy with experience is going to win out every time. Somebody who's been around the league, who started in the NFL for a couple of years, number of years. He's got some games on his belt. Okay, so I'm happy with Blaine Gabbert being here. Shoot, if anybody happy with Blaine Gabbert being here, it's crazy because you need a guy like that. Like you said, that's Andy's mo. Uh, with like you said, Chad Henne, him replacing Chad down in Jacksonville. Chad knowing him, I'm sure it's like, hey, look, if you want a guy down here, if you get him, hey, Blaine's a great guy to have. Okay, he understands the offense. He can understand, pick things up. Heck, he's a Missouri guy. Sure, well, this makes sense. And so, Blaine, he's won some games. He's got a lot of ability. You need a guy who's capable, who's coming in that can run an offense if something goes awry, right? And this is good. This is a good signing. Blaine Gabbert is just one of those names you hear in different places. Like, oh, okay, Blaine Gabbert. Here comes Blaine Gabbert. You're like, oh, I ain't seen this guy in a couple of years. Oh, okay. And he has the ability. He could throw the football. He could throw the ball now. That's one thing. He's competitive. And so, yeah, no, man, that's a good signing. Sure, that's what you do. For a guy to come in young, and I like young guys. I'm not saying I don't like young guys. Guys shouldn't get chances and opportunities. But Shane needs a little bit more time on his belt. He does. Let's just be honest. So if you're expecting to come into the playoffs and something happened to Patrick Mahomes, you're going to bring in Shane Buechele? Like I said, nothing against him, but experience matters. And so Blaine Gabbert has been Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. He has experience. He's been a starter. That is very, very important than your emotional ties to Shane Buechele. This is It's reality. As a coach, I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, I'm going with this guy. Okay. I'm sorry. Hey, Shane, learn from him, right? Learn from Patrick, but learn from Blaine also. It's going to do you well. So it's going to do you well to learn from all these guys. Then you maybe get your shot somewhere. But that you can't just pass it off to Shane Michelle. You can't, especially when we're expecting to go back, okay, to the Super Bowl. And it's something that with the position for things to happen. The guys need to make plays, guys. I can't look down. I'm looking at Shane Michelle. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, nothing against him, but I want a little bit more seasoned veteran guy. Like I'm looking down like, oh, okay. Well, coach, do we stick with this? Are we good with this? Do you trust this? And so it's just taking a lot of get a lot of confidence to have, guys Shane Michelle come in and try to run the offense or, get your team to win, to excel, to put them over the top. A seasoned guy, he knows the energy. He knows the difficulty tantamount that you had to go and say, man, this is what I need to do. Okay. You need somebody who's going to be like this. Okay. Now,
exactly.
You need a guy to come in steady, like, all right, man, listen, hey, listen, it's what we need to do. Okay. Let's go here, take care of business. And that's what you need. You need a seasoned veteran guy. So it's business, man. It's football. Come on now. Let's just be real.
I mean, and Michelle, I mean, like, yeah, you mentioned the being a young guy, not being able to. That's the thing. It's like Chad Henne only he played in two games in his career, right? Actually, matter of fact, the one game where one of the games where Mahomes got hurt when his kneecap went out, Henne wasn't. He was hurt. Matt Moore ended up playing in that game, or starting that game. But then you look at the last two times where Henne got in was that Browns playoff game and the Jacksonville playoff game. Chad Henne came in for those games, and he's a veteran quarterback. And that's the thing. I was a veteran guy who's played starter games before. Michelle's really never started he's never started in the NFL before. So it's like, wait, you did go from never starting in the NFL to just all of a sudden like playing in a potential playoff game where Mahomes has to set out a drive or two. Come on.
Yeah, he's only has what's the name on his belt.
Preseason
game. Yeah, it's not the same.
Mm-mm.
Not even remotely the same. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's who we had the keys to.
Yeah. Like you said, it is that. I mean, it'd be nervous as hell for the one drive to come in there. Imagine that 99-yard drive that Henne had in that Jacksonville game. Michelle, come on.
It's funny because I always say this joke, but it's like when you look at guys, when somebody gets hurt, and you look to put somebody in, and that person they looking for somebody else too. He turned to look at him. He looking down the sideline too. He like, who you looking for?
You looking for, coach? But
I say this, I'm just being funny right now because it's like sometimes in those positions, guys, that's what it's ended up happening. What's that? The dude off of Unnecessary Roughness.
Jason Bateman's character.
Yeah, well, no, the quarterback comes in. What's his name?
Oh,
you're like, down, sack, blow the whistle. Good. I'm just being funny, man. No, but I like Michelle. I do. I think he'll get his shot. He'll get his chance. Okay, he'll get his chance. But he's listen, and everybody deserves chances. But right now, if we're going deep in the playoffs, I need a veteran guy. Okay, I'm just being honest, being truthful. It's a great coaching decision, great organization decision, and I don't think anybody should be upset with that. Okay, it's a practical thing to do.
and with the quarterback situation we have, like you're probably never gonna see Bouchel play. So it's like it's gonna be tough for him to get actual real NFL starting experience with the quarterback situation we have. So that's why it's like, I mean,
look. If Blaine Gabbert comes here and Shane Bichelle beats him out, then so be it.
there you go. Right.
Right? So be it.
Right.
And he deserves that. He deserves that shot. Okay. And he overtakes it. He becomes the second quarterback. Cool. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm just like, okay, it's true. They've seen you in camp. All right. And you clearly better than Blaine Gabbert. Shoot, absolutely get the shot. No doubt about it. Okay. I would never take it away from the man.
Right, for sure.
Quarterback who beats a guy out, fully.
Right.
But if I'm just going in and I'm saying, like, immediately when I'm coming in, I'm looking at check, we got to get a veteran guy here. Okay. Yep. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, whereas Henne was already had the keys to the kingdom as far as being the backup. This one, obviously, Gabbert's a new guy coming in. He'll probably be chalked up as a backup right away, but there's gonna be obviously a competition for that backup spot. I mean, probably right. If a new guy's coming into a situation, probably have to compete for that backup spot.
No doubt, no doubt. That's what it's all about. It's all competition. The only one that you don't have to worry about being competing against is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody else come in second and third. We don't know where that's going to be.
Yep.
But if Blaine comes in there and he doesn't beat Shane Bichelle out,
yeah,
he's done beat him out.
Yeah. Right? May the best man win when it comes to that. But my whole thing is seeing the blind, I guess, fans are very. I love the passionate fans that we have in the Chiefs Kingdom in the fan base. But like, there's this blind devotion to Shane Bichelle. It's like, we don't really know what he's going to do. I mean, like playing against the third stringers against the Bears in the playoffs or in the preseason. That's what we're going to base this on. Come on, guys. Let's be real here. And then I see people dogging Blaine Gabbert, like, oh man, he sucked as a starter. He was awful. Like, yada, 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 throwing the stats at me. I'm like, whoa. I want to see what you guys thought about Chad Henne's stats, because Chad Henne was not a good starter in the league. We love Chad for what he did for those 2 playoff games for us. But Chad Henne was not a good starter in the league. So we're basing our backup situation on how good they were as starters. No, it's not what we're basing it on. Because, like, if you look at, I'm sure a lot of the Chief fans who are upset about Blaine Gabbert being signed, I'm sure they were upset when we signed Chad Henne too, But fast forward to multiple years later, he did well in the playoffs with us. Great, we like Chad Henne, but like, it's just.
Well, I will say this. I'm gonna base it off of what his record is in the NFL, how he's played. You definitely got to do that, right? I mean, it's what we say. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to evaluate that. So if I think this guy has won in Jacksonville, he's won some games in the NFL, I have to put that in the equation. I don't want to be a loser here. I don't want to just bring anybody with experience who's been in the NFL as a guy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys that's out here, but everybody's not a good backup. Okay. So I had to start thinking about, like, okay, I'm looking at, Blaine Gabbert. All right. What has he done? I'm going to have to evaluate that field. Okay. If he's a good fit. Chad Henne just saying so. Chad can say, yeah, he's a good fit. I like him. He's took me and backed me up. But did he win in Jackson? Did he win? We need to know how good of a player he is. And so the same thing, when Tampa had to evaluate him, backing up Brady, they had to make sure and say, look, if Brady's winning it, he's going to be a top guy. We got to look at Blaine Gabbert and see what he's done in the NFL as well, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all that comes into the equation. I don't want to. Yeah, we got to do that. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
But what I will say is this, and you could say Henne may have followed whatever Reed was telling him to do. Maybe just following Reed's guidance, and maybe that changed him a little bit with Henne. Because look at Henne's pre-Chiefs career. Because Arrowhead Live, our friends at Arrowhead Live tweeted this earlier. So prior to the Chiefs, prior to joining the Chiefs, both Chad Henne and Blaine Gabbert had appeared in 67 games exactly. This is crazy. Here's how each fared in their pre-Chiefs career. Henne, 18-35 starting record with 12,000 yards, 12,931 yards passing, 58 touchdowns to 63 interceptions with a 59.3 completion percentage.
58 touchdown to 63?
Yeah. So that was Henne.
Yeah, okay.
Gabbert, 13-35 starting record. So same amount of losses and 5 less wins for Gabbert than 9,302 passing yards, 51 passing touchdowns to 47 interceptions.
Okay.
And then 56.4 completion percentage. So both of them pre-Chiefs. I mean, not the best, but Henne turned out to be one of the better backups the last few years for us. So it's like you can't. That's why for me it's like based on who's been our backup, you can't always base it on their record as a starter, right?
Not record. I'm the evaluation of the games, right? And so it's like also too, what type of team were you on? You know, how good was the team?
Yeah.
Okay, who was you throwing to? You know, what was your defense like? So all this has to be evaluated. And so if they look at that, he throws a good ball, or he looked like he made great decisions, especially quarterbacks. You got to think about decision making and certain things, right?
Yeah.
Is he a good decision maker? Okay, some of these, these interceptions, were they his fault or the receivers? Like when guys running great routes. So you want to make sure the guy that you're getting backing up is a capable guy.
Yeah.
Okay. You just want to make sure that happens. Look, Shane Michel did an amazing job in college. Okay. He did a good job. And like I said, if he beats him out in camp, then he beats him out in camp. The thing is, a veteran guy who's going to be seasoned, he's going to be much better in the decision making. Shoot, I'm sure they evaluate. They asked Tom Brady, like, what do you think? How was he in meetings? Look, they're asking everybody. Believe me, everybody that's ran over Shane Michel's career and had any type of dealings with this guy, they're asking. They're asking, how's he in meetings? You know, is he measured? Is he a steady guy, or is he shaky? If he's shaky, we can't have him here.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might have 13-35 record. All right, what did that 13-35 look at? Right? So it can't just be out based off wins and losses, but it's going, I'm taking all those wins and losses. How did you win? How did you lose?
Yeah.
Were they close losses? Okay. Were you blown out? You know what I mean? Because the same thing, like if you didn't have a great defense, you scoring, 28 whatever points and you giving up 30 something, you lose it.
Yeah.
So a lot of it goes, like I said, decision making, all those different things. But I'm evaluating absolutely. 13-35, you said?
Yes.
Blaine Gabbert?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a bad time in Jacksonville. Jacksonville was going through some phase for a time.
Well, I think also too, I believe he was on the Niners when Chip Kelly was their head coach too. Because I think he was the one who took over for Kaepernick, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too. It might have been. Yeah, it might have been.
So I mean, those were tough times for a lot. And then he went to play for the Cardinals. I don't know how much burn he got there, but I mean, he hasn't been with the best teams over his course of his career too. He's been
it's not helping him out. It's not helping him out. He's been in no man's land for quite some time. The last two teams, he jumped on winners.
Yeah,
so, that'll help you out a whole lot. So being Tom Brady, learning from that guy, being in the room with him and Bruce Arians and those dudes, and what's the name of it? Used to be the coordinator for Tampa Bay. Used to be, what's the name? Ryan Lefkovic. Yeah. I mean, look, it's always good. It's going to bode well for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had to evaluate everything: record, all of those wins and losses, interceptions, decision making, everything. Is it on you? Is it the other guy's fault? Like, you just can't bring any guy here because he's got, that's not fair.
And also, I mean, forget about the play on the field. Being able to bring in a guy who has been sat behind Brady for the last few years, and also Byron Leftwich as his OC. That's also stuff he can bring to Patrick.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, that's also good knowledge you can bring into Patrick as well. So
you know what? You know who I was. When Cam Newton was naming guys that he would back up. I was shocked that he didn't name Patrick Mahomes. And I think the only reason he didn't name him is because he thought, well, Patrick's gonna play. He's not gonna get hurt.
That's true. Yeah.
This other guy, like, I'll back this guy up because I could teach him something, for one, but also two,
take his job if he does bad.
I'll take his job, right?
Yeah. There's a reason why he said all that.
The reason why he said all those things. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be rooting for, regardless, we'll be rooting for whoever wins a backup job. That's the guy we'll be rooting for. It's just, I just want to put in perspective on this episode when people who are upset with the Blaine Gabbert signing.
Yeah.
this week.
Sure. It is what it is. That's how it works. You're going to have 3 quarterbacks come in and you're going to have to compete. May the best man and quarterback win.
Yep, for sure. And we'll see that play out all throughout. I'm sure we'll have a topic on this during training camp when they're competing for this job. And we'll be highlighting some of these battles they'll be having during these preseason games. Who's gonna do better against the third team Green Bay Packers?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.